Have you ever thought or like said to yourself or like a mate, I really am just not doing enough when it comes to fitness, nutrition, and well-being? Like, I wish I could do more. I feel like I should be doing more. And then before you know it, you've kind of got yourself in a bit of a weird self-development hole, a help hole, where you're trying lots of different new things, and that starts to become slightly overwhelming and maybe also doesn't quite align with you, but you feel like you should be doing them. Why is it? Why do we get like that? I think it's mainly just down to social media standards and societal standards, because social media is obviously just showing highlight reels and they make it look like everyone is doing so much when actually our lifestyles and environments are all completely different. And there's a lot of people on the internet, especially on social media, that talk a big game and it's very performative. I was weirdly listening to a podcast the other day. It's a podcast called Sounds Like a Cult, and they just sort of do deep dives into special interests that could be defined as cults. But this particular episode was the cult of book talk. I don't know if anyone's dived into book talk or is involved with it, but it's a very wholesome way for people to consume content and find new books and talk to people about books. But one of the things they were bringing up was that it can actually be quite performative. And a lot of people might start talking about books that they've never actually read or never actually finished, but that just make them look cool. And I think that can actually be really, really true when it comes to health, fitness, and nutrition. A lot of people can talk a big game, can post about doing all these things, reading all these books, doing all these workouts, trying all these nutritional practices. And actually, they're not doing any of it. They're just posting from a place of insecurity, and because they think that's what people want to see, and they think that's what people expect of them. And this thought chain from me came off the conversation I had with one of my lovely clients. And they said to me in one of their check-ins, I feel like I'm just not doing enough. And when I read that and I thought about it, I looked at everything they were doing, and they're training 3 times a week. They participate in a sport. They have a very active job, and they're doing some really, really important work on their food relationship. And my response was, actually, mate, you are 100% doing enough. You are doing a lot, and everything you are doing is so beneficial, and it's enough, and it's specific. And if we added anything else into that, what would that even be, and would it even serve you? So in today's little bite-sized episode, we're going to talk about not trying to do too much self-development at once just because you feel like you should. Not comparing ourselves and our journeys to other people when it comes to fitness, nutrition, and well-being, or anything in that matter, like career progression, social life, hobbies. And we're going to talk about starting to focus more on you and more on what is important over all of the things that you think you should be doing because other people in the world do it. So let's do the thing. Hello and welcome to Small Gains, the inclusive strength and running podcast where we celebrate progress over perfection and chase intentional incremental gains in our strength and running. Here we believe that small, consistent steps lead to big transformations in our training, our lifestyle, and our overall well-being. If you're new around here, welcome to the most wholesome corner of the fitness industry. If you have always felt like a bit of an outcast to mainstream fitness norms like me, you are going to fit in amazing here, I promise. Let's get into it. Have you ever heard the quote, "Comparison will kill you"? I don't know who said it. I'm guessing it was someone a very long time ago, but it doesn't leave my head very often. There's actually an illustrator that I like who did the Small Gains podcast, actually Ilwookie, that has the patch with a skull on it that says "Comparison will kill you." And I think about that visual a lot every day. It's on his Instagram if you want to check it out, actually. But comparison will kill you because we can spend our life looking at other people's lives, what they have, what they don't have, what they do or what they don't do, what they manage to achieve with their life, their fitness, their career. And we can just look at other people and then think, well, why am I not that? I should be that. Why am I not? And that eats away at us and takes us away from focusing on what's even important for us in the first place as an individual. If we take a person with a commute and a 9 to 5 that wants to train 3 times a week, that person probably shouldn't compare themselves to a person that works from home with no commute that trains 5 or 6 times a week, because they're different environments. And I think when it comes down to it, some people will do more or will look like they're doing more. And if they are, it will come at a detriment to something else. And that might be in alignment with their goals, but it might not be in alignment with yours. So if, for example, You see someone that literally works out every day of the week and doesn't take a rest day, and you think, wow, they've got a job, they've got a family, but they might not have a social life. They might not do a lot of things outside of that bring them joy, because maybe that's their joy. Some people will prioritize things completely differently. Some people are really career driven. Some people are really family driven. Some people are really hobby driven or really enjoy their social life. So we give things different weighting, and none of that is wrong. And we should all be prioritizing our fitness, our health, and our nutrition as some of our basics. But some people will always just do more than others, and that's okay. So if right now you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, there's this person that I follow, or there's this friend or someone on the internet I see, or someone I follow on TikTok, and I really just see them and I wish my life was theirs. If that is you right now, because I think we've all been there, I want you to challenge yourself on those thoughts when you have them. I want you to ask yourself, is their life really like this? Or is this a highlight reel for social media? If it's a friend, I want you to ask, is their life really like this? Or is there other stuff going on that they're maybe not sharing because it's not as fun? When you find yourself comparing yourself, your life, your habits, or your behaviors to someone else, ask yourself, can I even compare? Do we move through the world in the same ways? Do we have a similar lifestyle? Because very few people do. And I think often what happens when I bring people into Fuzz Culture Club is they see that they are all so similar and in similar positions. And when my people talk amongst themselves in the community group, they definitely start to realize there's going to be similarities between lifestyles, morals, and values, but people's lives are all different. So the bottom line is here with falling into the comparison trap. We like to relate to people and things that we see online and friends or people we have in our life. But sometimes we pick people that are unrelatable to us, and that can cause us to think badly about all of what we do for ourselves. And that will make us fall into that should I be doing more trap. And maybe sometimes we should be doing more. I can definitely go through a week where I'm like, I could have given a little bit more and I didn't. And in hindsight, I would do that differently. But that doesn't mean we have to dwell on it. We just use that and go again. But I think often we can fall into the trap of just thinking that we need to do so much more, when all we really need to do is just know what is right for us. So if you're falling in that comparison trap, now is the time to pull yourself out. I am giving you a little rope with some knots in it so you can climb up, or a ladder. If you prefer a ladder, I'm throwing you down a ladder. Climb out of the trap right now. Challenge your comparison thoughts. Challenge yourself when you find yourself doing it. Ask yourself, am I being a dickhead to yourself? Because a lot of the times we probably are. Hello, I'm interrupting myself again to tell you about something new that I have in my workout app subscription, Superhuman. So many of you will know I have a £19 a month workout app called Superhuman. You can get on it through my website. It is home to two of my most popular plans, Transmask Intermediate, Beginner, Gym, home of dumbbells. I'm adding another one into the lineup that I'm really excited about. It is an intro to hybrid training program. This is for anyone that really likes the idea of trying hybrid training with their running and their lifting. They want to run far and fast, and they want to lift heavy, and they want to feel awesome in their bodies. And I have now built this intro to hybrid program to either be done at home with dumbbells and resistance bands or in the gym. So there's 2 runs and there's 2 strength sessions every week, and it's a 12-week program designed to take you from someone that runs and wants to lift weights, someone that lifts weights and wants to run, or someone that does neither and wants to do both. And it is the perfect approach for anyone that is looking to build up to a proficient level of hybrid training where you're not overtraining, you're not burning yourself out. So by the time you hear this podcast, my intro to hybrid program will be live for you to give a go in my app. Head to the link in the show notes. It's literally just 19 quid a month and you're not tied into anything. So if you just want to give it a go for a month and see if you like it, hop in. Even better for you, I've got 50% off your first month. So if you fancy it, use the code Let's Go at the checkout. That'll give you 50% off your first month. And then if it's a vibe, you can stay longer if you want. Proper buzzing about this. I've been building it for a little while, excited that it is finally coming out. Anyways, that is my little plug over. So let's get back into the episode. If you're asking yourself, am I doing enough? I want you to also ask yourself, am I trying to do too much at once? Because this is what happens a lot. And often when people come to me, they have tried so many different things with their health and their fitness and their nutrition that they just feel overwhelmed and run down by how much they've tried but not been able to stick to. And sometimes that can make you feel like you're just not doing something right, or that you just can't be a person that eats healthily regularly or goes to the gym regularly or runs regularly. But sometimes when we think we're not doing enough, we're actually doing far too much. And we're falling into that self-development trap, the help hole that I mentioned earlier. I think at the start of a year and at the end of the year, when we start setting intentions and thinking about things that we want to achieve and getting super reflective on the year that's gone, we can really, really set ourselves up to want to do all the things ambitiously. And I absolutely love that. Using the end of the year as a bit of a chance to reset and regroup is wicked. At the end of the year, it feels like closure. So I think that's why we're all drawn to it. And the way I see a lot of people start out is they'll buy a load of self-development books. They'll buy copies of things related to their, desired habits and behaviors. And at the same time, they'll then introduce lots of new habits around fitness, nutrition, and well-being. They might go from eating a couple of portions of vegetables and protein a day to trying to eat 5 portions and have protein with every meal. They might go from doing 0 workouts a week to trying to do 6. They might go from never having meditated or read a book before bed to trying to do both every single day for an hour. And what happens when we try and do too much at once is we do all of these things for a short period of time. They give us bare dopamine. We feel amazing. And then one of them slips and we're like, fuck, I didn't do that. That sucks. And then our brain is just like, okay, I'm just going to hit the self-sabotage button now. Fuck it. I'm not going to do anything now. I've missed that. So there's just no point doing anything else. And this mindset is really, really common. So if you have it, I promise it's not just you. The all or nothing cycle will just continue to repeat itself if you don't break it. So if you're doing too much for a short amount of time and then falling off it, and then self-sabotaging, hitting the fuck it button, or just being like, you know what, this isn't for me, I can't do this, that's just going to keep happening. And the other thing that can often happen when we do too much is that we end up sacrificing all the good, fun, wholesome parts of our life to do all this work, but then we're not actually enjoying our life because all we're doing is trying to have better health, nutrition, and fitness. And whilst that's really, really important, life is for living and life is very, very short, and there's a lot of stuff that we can do. So sacrificing loads of things that are important or enjoyable for you are also going to make you resent those desired habits if you've stacked up loads of them and you're prioritizing them over actually enjoying yourself. So instead, again, I'm offering you the ladder to get out of the self-development trap, the rope, the ladder, the steps, whatever you prefer. And I want you to just choose yourself. Instead of falling into that self-development trap and introducing lots of new habits around fitness, nutrition, and well-being, I want you to choose yourself. I want you to think about what is actually important to you. And this is what I do with all my clients when they first start with me. We take stock of where they're at and where they want to be. We figure out what their values are, what's important to them in their life, and not just from a movement, nutrition, and well-being point of view. In terms of career, in terms of family, in terms of lifestyle, friends, because all that has a place. When you've put yourself first and decided what's important, we want to then just define your desired basic. And going back to the episode the other week, episode 63, for anyone that's not heard it, about defining and nailing your basics, we want to keep them simple and almost have them in 2 layers. We have our bare bones essential basics, and then we maybe have another layer on top that isn't as essential, but it's still important to you. Then we want to nail our basics first before everything. I'm not going to bang on about that too much because I've already done that in the last episode, but go and listen to it if you haven't already. And then once we have actually thought about and defined these things, we just want to build up slowly and steadily. And it's boring, but it's sustainable. So small gains mentality all the way here. And the best advice I can give you is pick one book at a time if you're getting into reading non-fiction, self-help, or development books. We aren't superheroes, and the amount of information we can take in if we read 12 of them all at once, or even 2 of them, is probably very minimal. So just pick one at a time, don't stack them up, and try and do everything and listen to every podcast and watch every YouTube blogger. Just pick one, and make sure that it's relevant and it's going to serve you. So final prompts from today's episode for those of us that are worrying if we're not doing enough. I want you to ask yourself, is it actually broken? Are you trying to fix something that doesn't need fixing and you're just adding extra things onto your to-do list or extra things to worry about? Or are you just comparing yourself to other people's highlight reels, which might not be authentic anyway? Do you need another self-development book, another workout plan, a new nutrition plan, a new podcast, or do you need to do a new course? Or do you just need to have a word with yourself to be a little bit nicer, a little bit kinder to yourself, less of the negative self-talk? Because sometimes it really just is that simple. Do you need to nail your basics more often? And do you need to stop looking for quick fixes or different things to change it up, when really you just need to show up more frequently and do the basics right because you're not nailing them? The ongoing mindset work, self-talk, showing up for yourself as much as you can, there's a reason I bang on about it all the time, and it's because it works. And it isn't always stimulating and it isn't always really attractive, but there's a reason it works. I shared a quote with my team this morning that I saw on Sue Gaines' Instagram, which said, "Your best is what you can do without harming your physical or mental health, not what you can accomplish when you disregard it." And telling yourself you're not doing enough when you haven't actually asked yourself what's important and considered if you're actually doing too much is going to harm your physical and mental health eventually if we stay on that path. So choose yourself, decide what's important, and don't worry about what anyone else is doing when it comes to your fitness, nutrition, and well-being journey. So that'll do it. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your week. Please subscribe, rate, and comment on the podcast wherever it is that you're listening to this. If you want to ask me a question or submit a topic for a future episode, I'll leave a link in the show notes for you to submit that. And as always, keep chasing the small gains. Bye.